Yep, that's right.
The purpose and function of the Jacksonville Beach Special Magistrate hearing in accordance with Florida State Statute, Chapter 162, in the City of Jacksonville Beach Code of Ordinances is to reach an equitable expedition to enforce the codes. The city presents the violation and evidence to the special magistrate. Next, the property owner is sworn in and responds to the violation and/or evidence. Both the city and the property owner may call witnesses to provide sworn testimony relevant to the case. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, not a public forum. Individuals not called as sworn witnesses will not be heard.
Thank you. My name is Wayne Flowers. I serve as Special Magistrate for the City of Jacksonville Beach. As the clerk has indicated, in a minute we will call the cases on our agenda today one at a time. When your case is called, I would ask you probably to come forward, have a seat at the table where Mr. Dick is presently seated. And you'll be given an opportunity after the code enforcement officer has provided information to me on the nature of the violation to provide testimony, call witnesses if you wish to. I would simply ask that you speak when recognized and not interrupt other speakers. So with that, Ms. Beavers, if you want to call the first case.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And please state your name and position.
Nikki Beavers, Jacksonville Beach City Code Enforcement Officer.
Go ahead.
Okay. The first case, we're going to go in order of the agenda. So the first case would be case number 2079, John H. Sheffield at 1836 Birchwood Road. Is he present? Okay. This case has been complied. So as of October 26th, we want to stop the rolling fines of $250 per day as of October 26th. As you can see, the shed that was up has since been removed.
Okay, thank you. I will enter order then, finding that compliance was achieved on October 26th, and therefore any further penalties would be ceased as of that date.
Okay, and that case has been closed.
Okay.
Our next case is going to be case number 21325, Coastal Home Enterprises. This was in reference to permits. Mr. Dick has been working with our building official, George Knight, to come into compliance. The only thing, the sign on the building is still present. So as far as any additional time, Mr. Dick needs to get with our permitting clerk, Chandra, to find out what the size requirements would be for him to either continue coming into compliance as far as getting the correct size or removing that sign.
So your recommendation is that Mr. Dick be given additional time to complete that process?
Yes, he's been working with the building official. His current permit is now active. That was previously closed. So just a little bit more time for him to get with Chandra to find out what he needs to do with these signs.
Do you have an idea of what the amount of time that should?
I would say 30 days, just 30 days.
30
So
days.
our next hearing in January.
Mr. Dick, you want to speak to us?
If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this matter is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And please state your name and address for the record.
David Dick, 922 9th Street South for Coastal Home Enterprises. So I have met the permit requirements per George Knight from an email after we got this situated. This is from George Knight. I have all this information downloaded on a thumb drive for you because I've got a lot better things to do than to come here every 30 days and keep doing this. Mr. Knight says, We still need to clear up the signage issue, but that is a separate permit that can only be issued after the pole barn is reactivated and becomes a legal structure. I will assist you with that process when that time comes through. So George and I are on the same page doing this, but until that pole barn is complete, as Ms. Beavers has stated multiple times, it's not a structure until it's complete. So we're on the right path, we're moving forward, we're building the barn, we have it inspected. George came out the day after I got the permit done. So we're in compliance with the only permits that I can pull right now. According to him, I can't do it until it's a legal structure, meaning the outsides are closed in, we get an exterior inspection, at which point it will become a legal structure, and with George, I'll pull the permit for the sign up front.
Okay.
I also have the LDC regulations with me that show the size and scope. We're well within the size and scope of that on the sign. We need to get the outside finished and get that part closed, according to him, and then we'll pull the sign permit.
Right, and as I recall, again, that was part of the two-step process that would have to occur when we continued this matter for 60 days, I guess the last time it was here. So while I understand you don't want to come back here again, there is a continuing violation until that second part of this process is completed, and that is issuance of the sign permit. So I'm going to keep it on the calendar. I'm going to continue it for 60 days because we're going into the holidays.
Fair enough.
Right now. That would be, what is the date of the February?
It would be the third Wednesday of the month.
Do you have a calendar? And clerk, I don't have my phone with me, so.
16.
I think it's the fourth Wednesday. It's the last Wednesday of the month.
Be 23rd February.
Okay.
Now, 21st is a holiday. I don't know if that matters.
I'm going to essentially, it's not really a continuance. I'm going to get an order finding that violation for not having a permit for the sign continues, but giving until February 23rd to obtain the permit.
Now,
Achieve compliance.
by not having the exterior of the building completed, it's still not a legal structure. So theoretically, I can't permit what's not a legal structure. And if I got to come back in 30 and do it again, so be it. We're going to, fingers crossed, maybe I'll get lucky and can get some concrete poured before then. And if that's the case, then it shouldn't be an issue.
Well, that's part of why I said 60 days instead of 30 days.
Can we try 90 and maybe I'll have it done?
I think I'd rather keep it at 60.
60 and see what progress is being made at that point.
Because it's actually more than 60 days, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, it's more than 60 days going to February 23rd, so it's actually more like 83 days, I guess.
Well, we might get close.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Fair
Chairman.
enough.
All right, moving on to our next case, it will be case number 21. I'll skip that. The 21-421, this is property management, Duval Royal Investments. They do have a representative here, the property manager is here. This case is also, has been complied. It was for
One
prohibited.
second, it's ridiculous. Actually, if you're going to tell me we're there in compliance,
Yes,
you can go ahead and come forward.
this is at 758 3rd Street South. It was for prohibited signs, the A-frame signs. The day that the last time that I actually spoke with someone in the office, she did remove the sign at that moment. I just asked her recommendations that they remain in compliance and not put the signs back out. It seems like it's been a repeat offense where one day the signs are not out, the next day they are. So just to maintain compliance. But other than that, the case is complied and closed.
Are you the representative?
I'm the tenant, yeah.
Okay. Did you have anything to add to
Yeah.
what Ms. Beaver said? Come on, come forward.
If you could please raise your right hand Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I did.
And please state your name and address for the record.
Corey Hastings, 758 3rd Street South.
Could you state your name one more time?
Corey Hastings.
Corey Mason?
Hastings.
Hastings, okay.
I'm the owner of Engel Walker Jacksonville, which is the tenant.
What type of business is that?
It's a real estate office.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the biggest thing with us is I think there was just some confusion at the beginning because like we had it out and then she came in and told us and then we removed it and then I was told that as long as we keep it against the building, then we could have it out there as long as it wasn't impeding the walk path. And so that's what we have been doing since then. And then we got served with this notice about not having it out there, this, and that. So I'm just trying to get on the same page. Because for us, as a real estate office, especially post-COVID, it's really vital for us to be able to show people, hey, there are agents inside the office, please come in. And so it's just an agent on duty sign. It's not meant to like distract people or be a, whatever, a walking path. It doesn't even impede the walking path. Because if you put it against the wall, there's still 4+ feet of the path. So just trying to figure out what we can do because it is very important for us to have something out there if possible.
Who advised you that you could keep it if you put it up against the wall?
That's what I was told by my office staff, by the person who came in. I wasn't there, so I don't know if it was her, I don't know who it was. I wasn't in the island that day at our other office because I remember coming back and they pulled it in and then my office staff said, they told us as long as we keep it against the wall, not A-frame, but up against it and stationed with essentially, then it would be fine.
Ms. Beavers, you want to respond?
What was stated to everyone that's been in that plaza is that if they're not in the central business district, which is on First Street, that the A-frames were not allowed. At one time, we did give some leniency as far as letting them know if the A-frames were flush against the building, but because that was not being maintained and that the A-frames were still being put out on the walkways, not saying that it was Mr. Corey's business, but other businesses in that plaza. So I was advised by my director that all the A-frames would have to be just removed, and as long as they're not in the central business district, that they're not allowed.
So, Mr. Hastings, that's the position that the folks that regulate the signs are taking on it. So what I would suggest, if you have any other questions, is who should he speak to directly if he has questions about?
Me or either the planning and zoning department in our office.
Yeah, because we would love to have it out and just have it upright and not have it A-frame or put something in the window or something. We just want to try to have something to where the people walking by and looking at the listings in our windows and stuff can say, hey, there's a advisor on duty coming if you have questions, type thing.
If they have it inside, they can. If they have a window sign inside, as long as it doesn't go over 25 square feet of their window, then they can put a sign in the inside of the building.
So it's basically you have it inside, you can't get it outside.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hastings.
Going back to 798 South 3rd Street. This is also with Duval Rural Investments. Prohibited signs in the walkway, as you can see
Hold on a
here.
second. This is case number 21,
Yes,
526.
Yes. It's case number, 21526. So as I stated in the previous case, it was previously stated that if they kept the A-frames flush, that they would be allowed to have them outside. However, because they're not in the central business district, the signs were still being placed out. As you can see, this is from November in 2 separate spaces at the end of the sidewalk and also in front of the door of Tallulah Bistro. At that time, a notice was sent to the property management and to the owner of Tallulah Bistro. I also went inside and spoke to the owner as well to advise them that the signs were still in non-compliance. As of today, as you can see, there were no signs placed out, so the case has been complied and closed.
Okay. Come forward, so what?
Absolutely.
Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this matter is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And if you could please state your name and address for the record.
It's Joseph Brown, 798 3rd Street South, Jacksonville Beach, Florida, 32250.
Mr. Brown, you have some interest in this business?
Yes, that's my my restaurant.
Okay.
So
Did you hear what Ms. Beavers had to say?
I did, yes, and I just think it's a little frustrating because they were out on the street at one point, and we had another conversation about this a time ago, and she said, bring them out closer to the building. Everybody has it next to their building. That's next to their business. Even you guys have one. When you step out the side right here, there's one that's right in front of your door. So it's like we all have them out there to promote our businesses, to promote our whatever we're doing, whether it's a public service or. And it isn't bothering anybody. It's out of the walk. It's out of you have a clear handicap accessible pool. It's just hard to survive as a business. You know what I mean? It's a really restricted business like this is probably not the healthiest thing to do. But at the same time, if there's an ordinance, then we'll do what we have to do to comply. So, but I just highly disagree. I think it's invaluable as a city to do something like this.
Again, I think you were here a minute ago and you heard Ms. Beavers speaking with Mr. Hastings about the regulation and how it applies and that, and again, I think she explained what you can have on a business such as this. So you're in compliance at this point, and so I would again encourage you to speak with Ms. Beavers or the folks in planning and zoning to see, what if any other alternatives you might have. If there's any alternative that you could perhaps pursue that through a permit. I'm not sure that there is, but at least at this point what you can't do. So perhaps we have some conversation with those folks to see if there's any other alternatives that are available through a permanent process.
Like we just stated with Mr. Hastings, if they have enough signage that it does not exceed the 25 square feet, they can put it in the window, they can put them in front. He is correct, they were putting the signs out on the sidewalk, which initiated the case being open, but because of the repeat non-compliance, then we just had to say no, not even having them flush up against the building because they were still being put out. And other businesses, just like he said, want to put their A-frames out as well, who are also, being notified that they cannot if they're not in the central business district.
Mr. Brown, anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming.
You too.
All right, moving on to case number 21456. This is in regards to graffiti. As you can see, in October, the property was completely defaced. As of today,
This property is where?
at 1177 3rd Street South. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling the greatest today, so my head is a little cloudy. This is at 1177 3rd Street South. And as of today, the property has come into compliance, so this case has also been closed.
And so, are you looking for an order to remain?
Maintain compliance,
I have a question.
which is kind of hard because other people are defacing the property, but one of the things I did let the property owner know is that they need to just check on their property on a regular basis. Their plan is to demolish and rebuild, but in the meantime, they just have to maintain it.
This is the first one we've had on the International Property Maintenance Code. And I know that this provision speaks to defacement of property, but it says that the owner is responsible to restore the surface to an approved state of maintenance and repair. Approved is whatever the code enforcement officer says. So, well, how do you give instruction to a property owner in a circumstance like this to what standard they have to meet in order to achieve compliance?
As they did, they painted over the graffiti. Of course, we don't expect them to repaint the whole building, but just to keep the graffiti maintained. One of the things we suggest until they demo the property is to maybe put a fence around it, temporary, to keep others out, yeah.
Paint it up again.
Mm-hmm. Or go ahead and just demolish it. That way they don't have that issue until they get ready to rebuild. That would probably be the best thing to do.
Okay, I guess that's all we have.
Yeah, that is it.
We will stand adjourned. Thank you.
Mhm.